all best of 19 legs. There will be a break after 10 legs of each match. And it's all to be in the hat at the end of the night to be part of a 2-session Saturday to get through what is going to be a bruising weekend for some, but a profitable one rankings and money-wise in a quest to get that major championship tally off and running in 2023. Dan, it's going to be a great night. We've got matches all over the place at Minehead. What are your picks?
Put them all in a hat and we'll draw them out. I can't really say much more than that, to be honest. Yeah, it's promises to be a very exciting night. We've got all the fun and frolics out of the way. The first 3 rounds where it's just nothing but organised chaos. A little bit less chaotic with these 4th round matches, but this was a really good looking draw, and Gabriel Clemens has just decided to start with a maximum.
What an atmosphere here in Studio 36. We all thought when we joined the frivolities a little bit earlier that maybe we would arguably lose a little bit of charm not being in Red's Bar, but people have warmed, including us, to this venue very quickly. And you've got Dimitri against Gabe tonight to start things off. Then you've got Raymond van Barneveld against Rob Cross. After that, the European champion Ross Smith against the ferret Johnny Clayton. Stephen Bunting and Peter Wright will finish things off on stage 2. And as for some of the other boards, well, if you're a darts fan and you're at Minehead, you are being treated to a plethora of certain courses. I hope you brought your knife and fork, folks.
Yeah, I think if I had a ticket here, I wouldn't be stood still for any of it. I'd be hopping from stage to stage. I mean, I don't know how they came to the decisions in terms of what goes on which board. Some of the main stage ties do speak for themselves, but organising it thereafter, I have no idea how they do it. Dimmy going a little bit conservative there. 11-4, double 16. Proves to be the correct decision. So an early break of throw. With the longer length games, that's probably not quite as significant as it would be in a first to 6, but it is something that will maybe just plant that little seed of doubt in the mind of Gabriel Clemens, and Bergh decides to hammer in a maximum of his own.
Or is he going to do the same kind of stuff that he did last night to Chris Dobie? Because he took it 140 and 121 in concurrent legs 57 to win that quarter-final in Exeter. And that 140 checkout included 2 double tops as well. He was in pretty good touch last night, but he's had the rest of the day just to prep for this, which is a night on stage 2 where no player played this afternoon or this morning. So they should all be very fresh. And I think that's very fair as well for all of their opponents. They've all got somebody who was coming in at the tournament at the same stage.
Yeah, sporting-wise, it's probably very suitable for all of the 8 guys that we're going to see. The fact that none of them have had the advantage or disadvantage, whichever way you want to look at it, of playing earlier this afternoon. There are some players who've survived all the way from round 1 who are looking to make it to round 5 and tomorrow afternoon's session.
Now, one of those players is Luke Littler. He is currently 1-1 with Adam Gavlas on board 4. He played the very first game of the main stage. Van Bergh, 2-0 lead very, very quickly against an opponent who had a very similar World Championship to him. These are 2 semi-finalists from Ali Pali.
Yep, 2 beaten semi-finalists. Van Bergh was well beaten in the end by Michael van Gerwen in a game where a little bit of needle emerged on the stage, and likewise Gabriel Clemens. Initially in that semi-final, he put up a really good fight against Michael Smith, but Bully Boy just ran away with it.
Do you know what, Dan, when you say that phrase, when needle emerged, I'm getting this mental projection of Keegan Brown just peering around a curtain like the needle is emerging. Get it? Because he's called it doesn't matter.
I get it. I get it. Well, Dimmy's staring down the barrel of our camera lens at the minute.
And one of the worst things you can do as a focused sportsman is laugh. What he's got to do right now is just get back to that focused mindset. It's a difficult thing when you're laughing because your sternum and your stomach is actually uncontrollable. So you've got to get a hold of yourself over the course of the next few seconds. And you can see that Dimitri's doing that in the background, taking a sip of water, big deep breath. It's back to business now. No matter what happened there, it's all said and done.
Yep, answers on a postcard, because I have no idea what he was laughing at.
May have just been a score correction, something like that. Obviously put off by it.
Similar range finishes here. That's a good start. Treble 17. Now the bullseye. Well, Gabriel Clemens needs to be careful that this game doesn't get away from him. Van den Bergh to take out 1-2-4, but Clemens has had an interesting start to the year. The 1-2-4 is not going to go. Or he did reach the final of a Pro Tour, but he was hammered by Kim Huybrechts 8-1. He didn't get his first leg until he was 7-0 down. Needs to make sure that history doesn't repeat itself. Needs to make sure he pins double 4, and he doesn't.
Entry require 80.
Now what's he going to do? Is he going to go for the treble? I'm seeing a lot of people these days going for the 2 singles. It is 2 singles in the end,
40.
but it's not a 3-0 lead.
Gabriel, you require 4.
No, and it's a pretty scruffy third leg, this one. That's a bit of a blocker.
Game shot, the third leg.
Shot and in.
Gabriel, full flag to make sure.
Johnny Wilkinson would have been proud of that one. Straight through the posts.
Third meeting between these two players. First was back in 2019, qualifying for the European Darts Grand Prix. Van den Bergh hammered Clemens 6-0. They were very much previous incarnations of the players, though, 82 and 72 averages, but Clemens got his own back in the Gibraltar Darts Trophy last year. 6-1 win in the last 32.
Is it another maximum? It isn't. We talked about how fair these games are on board 2 this evening, that everybody is coming into the tournament at this stage and hasn't played before. Another fair way of saying that this is a fair fixture, apart from the fact they've both made the semi-finals of the Worlds in recent weeks. It's not that long ago, actually, only 2 months. But they're playing in their 6th UK Open, the both of them. Clemens has made the last 16 twice. Dimitri has made the quarterfinals once. So they're almost on an even keel in that regard. If I was a bookmaker, I'd probably have them very even. Maybe Dimitri is a slight favourite because of the fact that he's in the Premier League and maybe just the tiniest bit sharper coming into this, potentially. But it would be very, very small, that margin.
Yeah, and I think Van den Bergh's previous record of scooping a major, world match play champion.
Well, he's got PDC titles. Gabe hasn't.
I was just going to say, Clemens hasn't even won a title of any variety yet in the PDC.
I like that play from Dimitri, actually. Some people would get carried away and go for double-double there. But when your opponent's on 1-4-1, double-double for me is not the play. 71 left. And he leaves himself somewhat similarly positioned to Dimitri with single to double combination left. It's double 16. Only just. But he does take it out. One of the really big advantages of watching on stage 2 tonight is that we've got sound equipment on that stage, and you're going to get a very honest assessment from these players as to how they're feeling, especially right there. In some big stage action, you may not have heard how Dimitri felt right there, but on board 2 you will.
And Dimitri nowadays is not someone that tends to hide how he feels.
Come on, Dan, we've got to talk about the fact that the draw for this round, I've already tweeted about it today. I said it was the best UK Open draw ever. And I'm not getting carried away, folks. When you talk about last 64 matches, and you've got Van Gerwen Chisnell, Wade Anderson, Ross Smith, the European champion, against Johnny Clayton. I mean, Peter Wright's on board too. He's not even on the main stage, and he's a two-time world champion.
I wonder if he'll take any umbrage at that.
Time will tell. That's game 4, so watch out for that one. But looking around, you mentioned this to me earlier, and I thoroughly concur with you, Dan. Stage 8 is ridiculous. Ryan Searle versus Chris Dobie, Alan Suter against Nathan Aspinall, and Luke Humphries against Damon Heta. 2 of the best players of 2022 right there. To finish board 8?
Well, we were watching the draw together, and we were playing a game of shout out what you think's going to be on the main stage, stage 2, and other board. I think we shouted stage 2 about 14 times.
Yeah, this is a great game if you want to play it at home a little bit later with the draw. So it's main stage, board 2, outer board. You get a point for each one you get right.
58.
I think I ended up shouting it so often I would have been disqualified. It's like when you do your theory test, your hazard perception. Press, press, press. No. Disqualified.
Well, Gabe doesn't want to be disqualified from the tournament, or indeed eliminated. What he wants is to stop Vandenberg having a chance for 4-1. Got to be safe with this, and is for the bull. That's the stuff. Presses the red button and gets within 1 again, but Vandenberg retains that break of throat.
I promise it's the last time I'll call it this, but he got it right in the middle of the cherry strepsil.
I'm not going to make that the last time.
No, but I am. Vandenberg will be hoping that's not the last time he hits a maximum.
He's had plenty of those so far. This is a good scoring performance from Dimitri.
140.
Just give you a little bit of a rundown as to the games which are currently in progress. You have Jose de Souza 4-0 up on Darius Labanauskas on board 3. Hang on a minute. This is start 6. Danny Jansen was cruising against Jeffrey Desvaughn, but is now 4-3 down. That's on board 5. Chris Dobie 3-2 down to Ryan Searle, who I'm sure has got a lot of support down in the outer board area. That's now 3-3. Martin Lukman is 4-2 up on Kevin Dutz. Joe Cullen, hot start against Dylan Slevin. And there's another one. Joe Cullen's out on board 6.
96.
Luke Littler's 4-1 down to Adam Gavlas, the 16-year-old, playing well, but losing legs.
Yeah, that could be a development tour game in the upcoming months.
40, which we require 85.
That's a rather ridiculous statement you just made.
Steps back and lines up for the bull.
Game shot on the 6th leg.
Well, he's certainly warmed up now.
7th leg, Gabriel.
You can say that again.
Game on.
That bullseye is starting to greet a lot of darts.
1.
And it is usually a sign that both players are sharp when bullseye checkers are being hit. Let's address what happened at the World Championship, because what Gabriel Clemens did for the German viewership was astonishing. I was working with the radio at the World Championship with some of the ITV colleagues here. Chris Mason, Mark Webster was there. We were all getting news filtering through that when Gabe's run was to the quarterfinals and then eventually to the semis, more than 3 million people were watching him on that run. And it was the 3rd biggest audience of any sport in the 25 years of the channel that was showing sport. Sometimes more than football and other things.
I mean, we are talking against World Cup finals,
Yeah.
and European Championship finals. I mean, that's how big it was. And Germany is a country where darts has exploded in the last decade.
99.
The thing it needs for its next step is a tournament winner. It could be Gabriel Clemens, it could be Martin Schindler,
Florian Hempel,
Florian
Pascal Ruprecht.
Ricardo Pietreczko. even if Max Hopp re-emerges after a few years in the doldrums.
Bergh has untucked the shirt. Well, that's a happy accident, because he's now got another shot at the bull. This one's to end the leg. Tricky shot. And he just couldn't get past that flight.
The single 17 made that one quite tricky. Well, Clemens is making this tricky for himself. He can't find the target. Big break chance here.
For some reason, I've just had the theme tune to Big Break go through my head. Maybe we should have said bullseye, because that's now Bergh in front by 3. He's going to be very difficult to peg back from here. Every time I come to Minehead to do the Players' Championship Finals of the UK Open, and it's this format, I always bring up the same subject. It's very, very appropriate for the way that these players think. Bergh 5-2 up. What's he thinking about where he should stand at the 10-leg break?
7-3 at least.
I reckon if he was 7-3 up, he'd be ecstatic. Right now, Clemens is thinking, do you know what? 6-4 down is not the end of the world.
Yeah, it's all part of the psychology that goes on in these longer form matches. Sometimes the break can be time to perfection. Sometimes a break can be the worst thing for you.
Speaking of 10 legs, Jeffrey Desvaughn is 6-4 up on Danny Jansen at their break. Chris Dobie is 5-3 up on Ryan Searle. Same for Martin Luckman against Kevin Dutz. Needs more and doesn't get enough. 180s have been plentiful in this game. It's good to see.
Yeah, 6 in 8 legs now. Can we get a 1-6-4? Well, he wouldn't have needed to go for the bull, but it's usually a tester of the confidence of a player if they're willing to go for the bull. Clemens is quite a way back at the moment.
Dimitri, you require 28.
Gets his second dart. Dimitri Bergh is averaging north of 105 right now.
What do you think the ambitions are of Dimitri this year? Because when you think about the fact that it is some time now since he won the World Match Play, he's obviously been to the final again in his defence year. He's made progress in his World Championship career, making the last 4.
16.
Do you think progress is all he seeks in every event he goes to? He wants to take that further step. So in relation to the UK Open, maybe his ambition is to just make the last 4 and then see what happens from there?
I think when you win a TV major, progress is just getting another. A TV title, I think, will be what Bergh seeks, particularly a ranking one. It could be this weekend, but he'll be looking at the match play that he's won before. Any of them, the Grand Prix, the Grand Slam, Euros, Players, Worlds. Just scoop another one, and I think consolidate his Premier League place for next year, because of the 8 players that got picked, I'd maybe suggest that Bergh was on the shakiest of grounds.
Based on social media, I would agree. But based on the way he's played so far in the Premier League, he's shown a fair bit of talent, which we all know he's got. And he shoulders being Belgium's #1 very well. Being the #1 in a nation, it actually does come with pressure. Because you're the one expected to fly the flag. I think he enjoyed that.
I think you're right.
He might not enjoy this. Double 12. Oosha! What a shot from Gabe. That 171 from Dimitri was good, but not as good as that 144.
Proper power punching from Gabriel Clemens, just when you thought he was on the ropes. Well, this is the 10th leg, so we will be heading for a short break after. 6-4 and 7-3. Very, very different psychologically.
Yeah, and 6-4 now would feel better if it's 2 straight legs. He will feel like he is moving in the right direction, but you mentioned something about the break coming at the wrong time. If there is a wrong time for it to happen, it's when you've got the ascendancy. But this will almost feel like a one-leg shootout for Gabe, because he does not want to be 7-3 down. At 7-3 down against a Premier League player like Dimitri, he'll think that might be too much to do.
He's making a good job of it as well. Dimmy not down to a finish, so Clemens can try and make a big dent in this. He'll have a first pop at a finish.
I almost don't want there to be a break, because the way these guys are hammering each other right now, the break might ruin this. Go high or low, or go for the 12s. I like it. Takes the bust shot completely out of play. That was clever. But is it as clever as the bullseye?
60.
Not quite. 48 then for Dimitri van den Bergh. I've got to say, that 12 did take me a bit by surprise. Only 2 darts instead of 3. Step back, compose yourself. And 2 darts at a double is all that he needs. And heading into the break, Dimitri van den Bergh in a really commanding position now against Gabriel Clemens. There's been some really good finishing from the German giant, but van den Bergh has generally outscored him. He's outfinished him as well. It's 7-3. Join us in a few minutes where we'll have the conclusion of this game. Welcome back to Minehead, where Dimitri van den Bergh, he's currently 7-3 up on Gabriel Clemens. It's been a relatively comfortable evening's work for the Belgian so far, as he acknowledges the fans that are cheering his name. Clemens has work to do if he's to advance into round 5. Never made the Sunday of a UK Open before. It's 6th round. Been the ceiling for him so far. Van den Bergh has only done it once as well, so it's not a tournament where these two have had rich success. But van den Bergh is averaging just over 102 after that first mini session. Clemens not playing bad. He's averaging a little bit short of 97. But, you know, you can analyse lots of games, but the simple fact of this one is van den Bergh's played better.
Absolutely right. Adding to that 102 in change average for Dimitri, are doubling percentages, attempts obviously to hit, of over 58%. And when you put that with the 102 average, that makes for a world-class performance. He doesn't look like a player who was suffering from any sort of tiredness at this stage of the season. 5 weeks into the Premier League, the European Tour has started. The Pro Tour has a good month in. Some players might start to just feel a little bit of tiredness creeping in, but you just get the feeling that that's not Dimitri right now. He looks full of beans.
Yeah, he does. I mean, it is a pretty grueling schedule for any darts player, particularly if they're in the Premier League. It's travel on Wednesday, Premier League Thursday, travel on Friday, Pro Tour, European Tour the weekend, travel Monday, and then you've got Tuesday, and that's it. And
I don't care what anybody says. Dimitri living in England helps. Not having to fly. He can get here in 4 to 5 hours. Getting here from Belgium is a very different matter. Same for any Premier League venue, apart from possibly Rotterdam or Berlin.
And even then, it's a pretty lengthy drive, so I think it does help. And well, he lives with Damon Heta right now, Dimitri van den Bergh, so I bet they have some pretty interesting practice games.
Clemens needs double 16. And Hans van den Bergh another chance. He's had 12 attempts at a double to win a leg, and he's hit 7 of them. That could be bad news for the big German giant. Not on this occasion.
He's never been a lover of tops, Dimitri van den Bergh. Clemens to cut the deficit. Lost to double 4.
12 score.
No wonder he's exhaling. That wasn't a great dart.
You require 40.
It's a time where you think, maybe it's not my night. Double 10. It's still open. And now the leg is closed.
Dimitri van den Bergh.
One of those pretty insincere apologies for winning a leg. I don't know why they do it. Stop apologising for winning.
No, I love the fact that you called it insincere, by the way. That was quite insidious. Gabe's got some support in the front row. Daniel closes down there. He played on this board but lost. It may not be the best board if you're German.
Yeah, he lost to Mario van den Bergh in what can be best described as a leisurely game of darts.
I think Mario played all right there. Daniel didn't play poorly, but we saw some great performances on this stage this afternoon. Probably none better than Jelle Klaassen against Scott Williams, and Williams was brilliant on the comeback trail. He just fell 1 short.
Yeah, we were treated this afternoon. But Dimitri van den Bergh is 2 legs away from the finishing post, as are Joe Cullen and Chris Dobie. Another maximum for the Belgian. Cullen, I should say, 8-5 up on Dylan Slevin. Chris Dobie 8-6 up on Ryan Searle. So the home favourite might be having a very quick stopover in Minehead.
If Chris Dobie wins that game, he's going to need security, because he won't be popular in Minehead for a few hours. Dimitri hit this against Chris Dobie last night, but he's not going to go for the ball. That's really, really clever. He went for the treble 11 there, and he knew that if he didn't get it, he was going to lay up.
137.
Well, Clemens does apply the pressure, but van den Bergh usually loves this section of the board. There's your answer as to why.
Fair bit of cash on the line in this game as well. Guaranteed £2,500 for this stage of the tournament. You can double it if you win. You're into Saturday, you're on £5,000, and then the next round you double it again to 10,000. Serious, serious money on offer here at Minehead in March. £600,000 worth of prize money.
£110,000 of that will go to the winner on Sunday night.
91.
Danny Noppert looking to defend his title
from board 5.
And he's got a tough start to his title defence as well in Jim Williams.
58.
That is an awful draw for Danny, because Jim played brilliantly this afternoon. I mentioned board 5. Desvaughn Janssen, King against Keane Barry, Nathan Rafferty against Ted Everts, which is a rematch of the World Youth Championship final from 2 years ago. And Danny Noppert, Jim Williams will close board 5 at around about 9:45.
83. Gabriel, you require
I'm not even sure we've had a 170 today from anybody. A 164 by Ryan Joyce is the biggest one that I've seen. We're not going to get one here.
Yeah, we've had a couple of near misses. Well, Clemens is chipping away at the van den Bergh lead, but right now it looks like a really forlorn task.
Gabriel, you require 80.
Got to win 7 straight legs in match play against someone who has won the match play before. It's a big ask, but I tell you what's a little bit easier than that: winning 6 straight legs.
Yeah, he's a 7th of the way there, so that's all he can.
He's going in the right direction, Dan.
Yep.
That's all I'm saying. And I've seen it done before at the European Championship. Simon Whitlock and Jamie Caven. It can be done. But what you must do, Gabe, is lots of that, and you've got to stop van den Bergh from getting chances.
We have our first winner in round 4. Chris Dobie, a 10-6 winner against Ryan Searle. So security is being called as we speak.
My word, that's a performance, isn't it? Dobie 102.19 in 16 legs. That's a tremendous performance from someone who has not won in the Premier League since winning in Belfast in night 1. So maybe ranking action is where Chris is going to kick forward in 2023 here at Minehead.
Joe Cullen, Martin Lukeman and Jeffrey Desvan all one leg away. Luke Littler putting up a really good fight against Adam Gavlas. He's 8-6 down, but he's averaging 99.78.
Yeah, I don't think Adam Gavlas is going to be very popular down at the board's 3 to 8 section. I think Luke might have quite a bit of support.
I don't think Adam will need security though. He's a big old unit.
Yeah, he's quite solid. I wouldn't want to run into him at speed. Stop him getting a chance, Gabe. Double 8. Very well thrown shot, but it's now a match chance for the Belgian captain.
Treble 20, double 16. That's what he wants. No, he doesn't. He's going to go conservative. Double 16, though, for the win.
16.
It irks you as a dart player to miss a shot like that, because you might have to go back to 501, and he does. So that's 2 straight legs for Clemens. Now, he only needs 5 more in a row, but he has been in a position where he could have lost. I mentioned that Jamie Cave and Simon Whitlock match from the Europeans a few years ago. In the amount of legs that Whitlock won straight at the end of that, he afforded Jamie Caven 1 match dart.
Yep, that's the heavy artillery that Clemens is going to need for the rest of this game. But 3 darts from Clemens, 3 from Van den Bergh. Couldn't have gone much worse. That'll make him feel better though.
That will make him feel better about the 44 start that he had. Now he hopes that Van den Bergh has something somewhat similar to 44.
91.
Could have been worse. Jeffrey Desvan and Danny Jansen are going the distance. It's 9-9. No tiebreakers in the UK Open. 1 leg shootout if he go to 9-0. Right now, Clemens is hoping for 9-9.
If he does get to 9-9, I'm sure Van den Bergh will be feeling the heat, no doubt. So at the start of the game that Clemens was blowing on his hands, assuming that he's a little bit cold in the venue. I think they'll be feeling a bit warmer now.
It's a bit chilly in Somerset tonight, but the averages don't reflect that. They're both around the 100 mark in this game. This checkout would not only win the match, but it would also tip the 100 mark in the average. And he's now missed 2 match darts in 2 different legs.
Well, is Clemens going to go same strategy as Van den Bergh? He's not. He's going aggressive. He has to get the treble 18 this time.
38.
Maybe he would have been better served taking heed from Van den Bergh. So 2 match darts. He checks it out, and Dimitri Van den Bergh is through to round 5 of the UK Open. Pretty solid performance from the Belgian. He's averaged pretty much bang on a ton. Gabriel Clemens just gave himself too much work to do. He started and attempted a comeback, but ultimately Van den Bergh proved to be the better player. So that's the first match completed on stage 2. Coming up after the break, we've got a clash of the former world champions Raymond van Barneveld against Rob Cross. Stick around for that one.